Good evening. It was a Thursday, April 15th, 2021, just after 11 o'clock. A man with a gun opened fire at an Indianapolis FedEx facility, and within minutes, 8 people were dead. Now, more than 3 years after that tragedy unfolded here in our city, a permanent memorial is in place. Tonight, Logan Gay talks with loved ones about having a place to honor the lives lost. Logan?
Yeah, well, Matt Alexander was one of the 8 people killed in the attack. And tonight his parents tell us why this memorial is exactly what they needed.
This is not something FedEx had to do. It's something that FedEx wanted to do.
For the first time since the tragedy at the FedEx ground facility more than 3 years ago, Brad Alexander and his wife Debbie gathered at the place their son Matt lost his life.
It's very special. It's very humbling. Matt always told us that FedEx is one big happy family.
A family that was changed forever after 8 employees, including their son Matt, were shot and killed inside the facility by a gunman. To make sure those 8 employees remain a lasting part of the FedEx family, the company built this monument at the facility off of Miraplex Parkway.
There's going to be a lot of family and friends and co-workers that are going to visit this memorial, and I think it's going to bring them peace and help with their healing.
Debbie says a lot of thinking went into the meaning and purpose of the monument, which features the names of the victims and a flame on top.
The circle means unity, and then the flame, you know, the everlasting love that's still shining from our loved ones. The glass that's in the flame is Fenton glass.
Brad says the purpose of the monument is to honor the victims and their families. Wednesday's unveiling being one he says he wouldn't have missed for the world.
All of these victims have a story. They all have a story, and they have accomplishment, every one of them.
That's why they're now encouraging people to stop by, visit, and reflect.
Just having the bench and being able to look straight at Matt's name and then being able to walk around and pay tribute to the other victims as well. I think I'll spend some time here. I think it'll bring me peace and it'll help with healing.
Something she feels whenever she sees Matt's name.
Who put the baseball there?
We did.
In honor of his love for baseball. They say Matt was quiet and didn't like to be the center of attention, but they believe he would be touched by this gesture.
He would love it.
He would be very humbled
and grateful.
And grateful. And he would appreciate the fact that it's just not memorializing him, but the other victims as well.
Because in a family, no one gets left behind or forgotten. In a statement shared with 13 News, a FedEx spokesperson said in part, "Our goal with this memorial was to build a space that provides healing and is a beacon of hope, where people can gather to honor those affected and consider the strength and resilience of the entire Indianapolis community."
I've known him too long. I've known his family. I couldn't imagine leaving him to go through that alone.
Tonight, first-hand accounts of the state's first execution in 15 years. Joseph Corcoran was put to death just before 1 o'clock this morning in Michigan City. Corcoran killed 4 people in Fort Wayne, including his brother and future brother-in-law back in 1997. He's been sitting on death row for years, and in June, Governor Eric Holcomb announced executions would resume. Since then, Corcoran's legal team had tried every avenue to save their client, including last-minute appeals to the U.S. Supreme Court. But in the end, Corcoran died this morning after a final meal of Ben & Jerry's ice cream. We talked with Pastor David Leitzel, who was in with Corcoran during his final hour.
I took a hold of his hand, and you would almost have to hear it. Joe and I talked and joked all the time, and Joe said this with humor. "Oh, don't hold my hand." And then he kind of settled in, and right after that, he said, "Just pray for me."
Corcoran's wife and her adult son witnessed that execution. So, what's next for the death penalty here in Indiana? Attorney General Todd Rokita is asking the state Supreme Court to set an execution date for Benjamin Ritchie. Ritchie shot and killed Beech Grove police officer William Toney in 2000. 13 News reached out to Rokita's office. A spokesperson tells us that date has not yet been confirmed. In less than 36 hours, Richard Allen will be back in a courtroom to learn his sentence. Investigators say Allen killed teenagers Abby Williams and Libby German in February of 2017. He was convicted last month on all 4 charges against him. The trial lasted weeks, and we've learned the bills are still piling up. According to the latest financial records obtained by 13 Investigates, Carroll County has now paid more than $2.5 million. One of the most expensive trials ever in the state of Indiana. So here's how some of those costs break down. More than $260,000 on hotels, food, and transportation for the jury, more than $830,000 for security, more than $1 million for attorney's fees and legal expenses. That comes from the Carroll County Auditor's Office, and the auditor there says there are still trial bills that have not been paid. We delve deeper into the costs of this trial right now. You can find it on WTHR.com/Delphi, and we'll be in Carroll County in the courtroom for the sentencing on Friday. Our coverage starts on 13 Sunrise.
Well, over the next 24 hours, we're really just watching the temperatures, and we don't have anything major moving our way until after 24 hours. So we watch the numbers tonight drop into the 20s and 30s. I do expect that the temperatures will get into the 20s for many of you. The only concern in the short term is a little patchy fog. Watch for that, especially if we get a little bit of clearing out there. Although I think the clouds are likely going to stay with us. You may have some patchy fog in the morning, but really it's cloudy skies all the way through the afternoon. High temperatures may be able to make it up very close to 40 degrees for tomorrow, but I think most of you will likely stay in the 30s. And then we turn our attention to this. An Alberta Clipper. This is going to bring us a chance for snow on Friday. I'll talk about the timing of that snow and how much you can expect. I'll have that for you coming up in just a few minutes, Dustin.
Here's a quick look at other stories making headlines right now. An Indianapolis man just reached a plea deal connected to a shooting on the west side. It happened at a Wingstop near 10th and Lyndhurst. Police say Lawrence Sneed pleaded guilty to pointing a firearm at employees back in January. As part of the deal, 5 other charges were dismissed. A man is now charged after investigators say he attacked an Amazon driver. It happened earlier this month in Hancock County. The driver's family tells 13 News Timothy Ellsbury was arrested yesterday. He just appeared in court where he pleaded not guilty. We reached out to Amazon. According to the company, there's a team that investigates any events involving delivery partners. And soon the IMPD Mounted Patrol will move into its new $2.2 million horse barn. A new timeline has them relocating by spring. Police say the Mounted Patrol is an important tool for patrolling neighborhoods and controlling crowds at big events.
Well, everybody loves the horses, so they're able to engage the community in a different way.
All the money for the new barn is coming from community donations. And Friday, the Indianapolis Airport Authority Board is expected to consider selling the downtown heliport to the city. The FAA approved closing the heliport last month. Now Mayor Hogsett wants to buy the land and build a Major League Soccer stadium. Southwest Airlines is bringing back its nonstop flight from Indianapolis International to Midway in Chicago. The flight is set to resume in August of next year. It'll operate twice daily year-round. Remember, you can find all the latest local stories anytime on our 13 News app.